got you another question, hot off the press.
Okay.
So, the question is, what fluids in my vehicle do I actually have to change? I was taught you always just change the engine oil, and that's it.
That's a great question. And it might surprise a lot of people. It's supposed to be all of them. Yeah, I know, right? So there's actually a reason that clean fluid is in each one of those systems. So yeah, the main fluids, because let's break this down a little bit in simpler terms. You got your primary and your secondary fluids, right? Your primary fluids are what actually runs the larger components, our powertrain items. You always want to keep the oils fresh in those because those have much more intricate components. Like we're actually dealing with gears, actuators, internal components that aren't accessible. So we always want to change the oil, right? Because that's how we start, that's how we drive, that's what drives everything. The transmission is the second most important because it's actually telling your vehicle how fast to go, what gear it should be in. So you need to have that fluid changed out. When that fluid breaks down, you start getting rough shifting, gears start catching, and I promise you don't want to drop a gear or something when you're going 75, 80 miles an hour. After that, it's going to be your axle services or your axle fluids. You have a differential in there that helps you apply power to the ground with both of your wheels. It's super important to change that because what it has is I want to say about 8 to 10 gears, depending on the size of the differential that's in there, and they're all rotating at different angles. And it's made to maintain the same wheel speed on all wheels at all times, even if they're going a different direction or when you're turning, anything like that. If that fluid ever runs dry or dries up, burns too much, those gears lock up, your tires stop, you lock up, and you stop instantly as well. So those are the three main primary fluids that I consider. After that, we move to the secondary fluids, which is stuff that we can repair, we can handle. It's mostly your lines and your hoses that come off your engine block. So your brake fluid, it's what actuates your calipers and actually helps you stop and actually applies the calipers that clamp down on your brakes and slow you down. Don't want that failing on you, and that starts failing when that brake fluid starts breaking down and you start getting those mineral deposits. It starts clogging up the lines. It's not lubricating like it's supposed to. Power steering, same thing, super important. It's actually what helps lubricate your steering components and your actual steering wheel and how sharp it turns and how easily it turns. You don't want to take a 30-mile-an-hour turn where you can barely struggle to turn the wheel. So it's actually, these are safety items that keep you safe on the road by keeping these good fluid conditions.
Very good.
After that, you have your more simple fluids like your coolant and everything, which it speaks for itself. It helps keep the vehicle cool. If the engine gets hot, the engine burns up the oil faster, we start blowing lines, we lose oil, it causes a chain reaction. We want to keep that cool as well. Freon, I'm not going to say you have to change it, but nowadays if you want to be cool, I'm sure you would like a recharge every now and then, want your AC system to work, especially if you're in one of those hotter parts of the country. So, but that pretty much covers all of your fluids on that.
Okay, very good. How often should I change those other fluids?
So there's a lot of information out there. What we recommend, depending on how far you want to get your vehicle, but our goal is to get you to 300, we recommend handling these fluid services every 30,000. A lot of manufacturers recommend 45, 60. It depends on how you want to handle that. But if you want the most bang for your buck, it's starting those fluids at 30,000 and doing them every 30 for the life of that vehicle. Mm-hmm. If you do that, I guarantee you'll have a 20-25% less percentage of mechanical breakdowns because everything's lubricated properly and everything's running how it's supposed to.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.